Hey guys, Travis here. Gonna do a high mall Bracken Spore encounter guide for heroic and normal mode. Before we get started, I'm a melee using a flamethrower, so that's the point of view you're gonna get here, rather than the point of view of a healer just doing one job or a DPS doing one job. You're gonna see me moving around the boss area frequently and not just focused in on one little thing. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. Basically, healers, your big priority is the mushrooms. You've got two different kinds of mushrooms: rejuvenating mushrooms and living spores. Living spores are the green mushrooms, rejuvenating are the blue ones. The blue, they're going to give the group a haste buff for everybody who's going to stand within their circle. You see our healers will stack healing circle from the druids and that priest bubble on these mushrooms. They want to keep these mushrooms up as long as possible, and they want to bring them up as fast as possible so that you're getting that haste buff throughout as long as you can throughout the fight. The green mushrooms, you don't want to top them off immediately. You want to heal them up pretty quickly, but you want to top them off when the boss casts infectious spores. It's a big raid damage, and you're going to need the help from the green mushrooms to heal through it, especially in heroic mode. So don't top those off completely until you need them for the big AoE damage. Range, your top priority is going to be spore shooters. They're going to spawn typically outside the raid. Make sure you burn them down. They're going to shoot spores at groups of players, and when they hit, it's going to do AoE damage. So it's not a big deal, but you want to take those things down as fast as possible to avoid as much damage as possible. Melee is top priority, which is the range's second top priority, is Mind Fungus. They're going to spawn usually in the groups of players, so it's usually in the melee, and they're just a nasty looking mushroom right there on that you just saw on the screen. Once they sprout up, burn them down as fast as possible. They're going to do AoE damage to the raid as well as to the mushrooms, so not good. Take them down as fast as you can. Pretty simple. They don't have a ton of health either. Then second priority for the melee, third for the range, is that big ad that's going to spawn in the water. The tanks will bring them up to the boss, burn them down as fast as possible, and never let him cast decay. Never let him get off of decay. He's going to start casting it, interrupt it. Have an interrupting order before the fight so you're not wasting interrupts, and call out who's got the next interrupt. Just makes the fight a whole lot simpler. You're not going to use two interrupts on one decay, and it takes a lot of the thinking out of the encounter. Now, for the flamethrowers, don't let your flamethrower overheat. Mine overheated a couple times in this fight. It wasn't that big of a deal, but I typically try to keep my heat below 75. It's a good number to stay below, and you're still able to generate plenty of stacks of that buff that you get for burning the creeping moss. The thing that the creeping moss does is it does damage to you, slows you down, and heals the boss. So a lot of bad stuff the creeping moss can do. Just make sure you keep it under control and get back to the fight as soon as possible. Other than that, guys, it's a pretty simple fight. You learn the mechanics, run through it a few times, you're going to get the hang of it, and you're going to see it's not that big of a deal to get through. So good luck, and until next time, guys, have fun and get some good loot.